reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. African dashiki, Uncle around my neck, got his ISIS tatted on my belly, all about respect. I do it for the cause, I live for my queens, all my niggas kings, captain of my team. Life is just a dream, life ain't what it seems. You just a player in the game if you don't own the league. Hop on the magic carpet, fly with me to a whole new world that they call Elm Street. Stay away from haters, stay away from busters, because in Never Land ain't no room for these suckers. Stay away from haters, stay away from busters, because in Never Land ain't no room for these suckers. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock.
Oh my dear Mr. Williams. Information is power. If you don't have the information, one cannot seize power. You need to think about becoming mentally competitive. Being black does not free you from being a responsible individual.
Riverside, the turf, we in another zone. So futuristic, welcome to the Thunderdome. Posted in the hood, the homie got the chrome. And if you niggas tripping, silver bullets getting blown. Chicken with real killers that'll kill you at your home. And if you niggas tripping, your body hitting the flow. Fuck the police is the code that I live by. Kill a pig, cook the swine, fuck the cop, I hope they die. Black man in America, I'm not supposed to shine. Living in this white man's world is a waste of time.
Black man in America, I'm not supposed to shine. Living in this white man's world is a waste of time.
They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. Thunder rock, thunder rock, thunder rock.
Jason Elm Street Williams, live from ancient Egypt. Pyramids on the Giza Plateau. Atoms, photons, neurons, electrons, energy. Watch out.
I see your body, that niggas beating you up. Close the door, spark the blood. I know she's right. I think I'm wake up every day singing the same song. I wanna leave the planet and live in my pyramid. Restore my kingdom.
Thank you. We're on Matrix TV. What up, YouTube? I want to give a shout out to everybody on planet Earth who's living in a matrix, a hologram. So we're gonna kick it real talk. Behind me you see the pyramids. Before you were gang banging on the block, drinking 40s, getting popped in the head by the police. This is what you were doing. You were learning. High University. Intergalactic travelers, baby. The day is here.
All aboard! It is time to hop aboard my spaceship, because you are now tuned into what is the Matrix TV. I'm your host, Dr. Jason E. Williams, better known as Dr. Jason M. Williams. Doctor of Education, EDD. Today, as we close up 2025, blood sacrifice. July, August, September, October, November. Do you remember the Jason month? The sacrifices leading up to the new year of the hypnotic spell of January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. Click again, and again. We are living in an insane society called the American Dream, ruled by a deity, a god that takes over humans, that doesn't show himself, but has to use humans, therefore wouldn't exist if it wasn't for human interaction. And then there's humans who do not believe in this deity or God. So this God must intercept the minds of his followers, and his followers murder and kill in the name of their God, colonizing indigenous lands and mines wherever they go. Blood sacrifice. This is the American Dream, and I am Dr. Jason E. Williams. Let's go. So Anthony Joshua, car crash. Anthony Joshua survives deadly car crash in Nigeria. What do you guys think about it? As we start the show at the end of 2025, we see that there was, let's get to it. The crash occurred on a major through fairway in Lagos Abandon Expressway, which links to Ogun or Ogun. Ooh. The crash occurred on a major thoroughfare on the Lagos Ibadan Expressway, which links Ogun State to Lagos, the country's economic capital. At about 11 a.m. local time, Nigeria is the homeland of Joshua's parents. In a statement, Ogun State Police said that Joshua was in the back of a Lexus SUV and the circumstances of the accident were being investigated. The accident happened as a result of a burst, boom, of a tire on AJ's vehicle, which caused the driver to lose control and the vehicle to swerve into a stationary truck parked along the road. Ogun State Police Commissioner Laneri Ogunloowa told ESPN. And who is Ogun? So there was a murder, a sacrifice, blood spill, a killing on Ogun Street. And the representative of the people of Nigeria, his last name was Ogun. Ogun is the Orisha of technology. He is a chemist, the meteorologist, the engineer, the scientist. He makes technology for agriculture, society, and
military. Without Ogun's technology, you would be unable to defend yourself. Venerate Ogun, financially support African technology. Ogun is a powerful spirit of Orishas in several African religions, including Yoruba, Santeria, Haitian Voodoo, and West African Voodoo. Ogun is the god of war, iron, and labor, and is also known as the god of iron. He is associated with the colors green and black in the number 7. And we know the 7 90-degree angles the L because he is an L, right? Dark skin, woolly hair, beings. Boom! So right there, we see the attachment. And so, yeah, in the statement by the Ogun State Police said that Joshua was in the back. And so let's go take a look real quick as we dive in. I'm going to share the screen with y'all. And let's just start getting into it. I like that, huh? Okay, here we go. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. Rest in peace to all those involved. Much love.
Okay, so ever since I posted the video about the Joshua crash, my inbox and comments have been going wild, mainly with people making claims that this crash had something to do with the incident that happened in the ring. Right now, I'm not going to make any claims whatsoever. That is just internet speculation. But as we all know, Anthony Joshua has tweeted that he made the easiest 90 million in boxing history and was allowed to legally punch Jake Paul in the face and apparently have the entire country thirsting all over him. He straight up had the best weekend of his life. But there is some very hawk-eyed internet detectives out there, and people think they have found Jake Paul's secret little signal inside the ring to get the fighter to stick to the script. Once again, like I said, not my claims, but look at the tongue, right? Lots of comments. As soon as he gets hit by Tyson, the tongue comes out. Stick to the script, right? Now watch when Joshua starts not sticking to the script. Let's just watch it again. Look, punched, tongue out, right? A lot of people are realizing it. Punched by Tyson. Calm down, Tyson. Joshua's like, bang! Stumbles him. I like that tongue, Jakey boy. But yeah, like I said in the start of my video, my heart genuinely goes out to any of the families involved in this horrific crash in Nigeria involving Anthony Joshua, and also to Anthony Joshua and his family, because this is a massive shock to anyone. But let me know what you guys think in the comments about the speculation on the internet right now, because if you didn't stick to a certain contract that was behind closed doors, would there then be further actions behind closed doors? But obviously, for the sensory reasons, this was all just for entertainment, and I am not making any claims. These are just internet speculations right now, and I'm as fictional as a dinosaur, baby. Okay, so ever since I posted the video about the Joshua crash, my inbox and comments have been going wild, mainly with people making claims that this crash had something to do with the incident that happened in the ring. Right now, I'm not going to make any claims whatsoever. That is just internet speculation. But as we all know, Anthony Joshua has tweeted that he made the easiest 90 million in boxing history and was allowed to legally punch Jake Paul in the face and apparently have the entire country thirsting all over him. He straight up had the best weekend of his life. But there is some very hawk-eyed internet detectives out there, and people think they have found Jake Paul's secret little signal inside the ring to get the fighter to stick to the script. Once again, like I said, not my claims, but look at the tongue, right? Lots of comments. As soon as he gets hit by Tyson, the tongue comes out, stick to the script, right? Now watch when Joshua starts not sticking to the script. Let's just watch it again. Look, punched, tongue out, right? A lot of people are realizing it. Punched by Tyson. Calm down, Tyson. Joshua's like, bang. Stumbles him. I like that tongue, Jakey boy. But yeah, like I said in the start of my video, my heart genuinely goes out to any of the families involved in this horrific crash in Nigeria involving Anthony Joshua, and also to Anthony Joshua and his family, because this is a massive shock to anyone.
And there it goes. The link. Do you think for one moment that you are gonna surpass Las Vegas? The mob? Was the mob involved? We'll get into those who wear a top hat involved with Floyd Mayweather. We're gonna start linking deaths, not just to boxing, but to celebrities. The whole cabal of a blood-sacrificing deity and religion, all based on money, financial gain of a certain group of people and those who fall under the category. So we go into what we call the Great White Hype. Jake Paul represents the Great White Hype. The boxer, the Great White Boxer, heavyweight champion that they have been trying to create the whole time. I was in the barbershop today and they were giving the example of Jack Johnson and how the white boxers bare knuckle, they would box, and there was this Irish guy who no one could beat. And here comes Jack Johnson, heavyweight champion, brother. This is where the traveling so-called white woman from state to state, this brother was a heavyweight champion, beat the so-called white heavyweight champion, and he was the heavyweight champion of the world, a black man. They feared him. The biggest fear, a strong black man no one could beat. And he messed with so-called white women. And of course, they didn't like that. So what they did is they created laws to stop black men from traveling with white women from state to state. This is why you get, that's where they got Dr. Malachi Z. York, with it wasn't white woman, but they were trying to say other stuff, which I don't even want to go into, which I do not agree with. But nonetheless, they use cases like that against brothers. I won't go into detail. That much love to Dr. Malachi Z. York, but look up Jack Johnson, the heavyweight boxer, and the law that they created because of this heavyweight boxer. So basically, Jake Paul represents the blonde hair, blue-eyed white American, Rocky. And we're going to even get into, I didn't know that the movie Rocky, that was based off of Rocky Marciano. That's they won. You remember in Coming to America in the barber shop when the Jewish man was like, he wasn't better than Rocky Marciano. And then like, that's they won, Rocky Marciano. Everywhere I go, white man say Rocky Marciano. That's the name. Let me show y'all who Rocky Marciano is. Let's get into the mob. But first, where is it? I got him here somewhere. Excuse me. My bad, y'all. I had to blow my nose. Rocky Marciano. Rocky Marciano. So yeah, that's day one. Rocky. So Rocky represents the great white height of the white man being able to knock out and defeat the strong, burly black man, the son of God, the son of the immortal so-called Moorish black woman, Maya, the mother to all. So right here, that's what Jake Paul represents. So as we get into it, Anthony Joshua to lose around $45 million in taxes from his recent fight. $93 million from his fight with Jake Paul. So he was bragging about it. Of course, you should be happy, as anyone should, when you get in the ring, like the owner of our barbershop was saying, Brother Jay, and it was serious. I didn't take it to that. We know that, but he said, man, that's why they tell brothers and people just in general, don't play basketball, play football, don't play boxing, because you can die. You can really get hurt in the ring. You know, boxing is a very dangerous sport, like most physical contact sports were boxing. And so he was talking about how Jake Paul was talking, and so sticking his tongue out. So he said when he had his mouth open and he hit the dude, his jaw went in a whole nother place. They said his jaw broke in 2 places. Now I heard that, but at the barbershop, they were talking about the titanium rods and all that. So basically that destroys his career. So at the barbershop today, they were talking about, like I had said, but they confirmed it through my thoughts. That's all I say. I love going to the barbershop. It is our community gathering. Shouts to my barber, Ed, and the owner, Jay, off of La Sierra Magnolia. So yeah, when we talk about the barbershop, we want to, I just went off subject. So yeah, at the barbershop, they were talking about how when his mouth was open, now we have to go look at some of these pictures, but basically his jaw went in 2 places. He said the mandible jaw, you see, and it separated, and that's why it went the other way. And so when Jake Paul was giving the signal to slow down, stay in script, because clearly we see that he hasn't fought real professional boxers up until now. And this is what actually happens. And so when he broke his jaw in 2 places, that ends the Cash Money cow. Because here he states that if he won, Jake Paul states, when I beat Anthony Joshua, every doubt disappears and no one can deny me the opportunity to fight for a world title. So right there. And so right there, Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua fight almost cost DraftKings $100 million. Everyday bettors lost instead. So you talk about hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars basically involved in one fight. The circus. Fighting. This is the type of society we're living in, y'all. To where billions, hundreds of millions of dollars, just individual companies involved. Hundreds of millions of dollars for a fight. For grown men to fight and try to kill each other. Even though these fights clearly been scripted. And from what you see, he went off script. And if he did go off script, that would cost someone their life. Because one, the bettors in Vegas, and now there's internet gambling. So imagine all that, not just the money, but the lies, people betting stuff organized. Basically, this is organized crime. Boxing is organized crime. Anytime money's involved, past by this is an event, $100 million, but I meant like a company. That's when, especially sports, yeah, it's crime. It's money laundering, drugs, sex, prostitution, government. It's to keep society focused on fighting, where we should be past that as a society. We should not be fighting each other. You know, think about it. Like, we live in a society where we glorify people fighting. Military, like, why are we fighting each other? Like the schoolyard fight, that's for kids because they're immature and not mentally developed. That's why there's principals, teachers, and now security, and like on the campuses, you know. But when you become an adult, you're not supposed to be fighting. That's why you see the dopest martial artists, they do Tai Chi. If you ever watch those dope Kung Fu movies, the master really doesn't teach that. He teaches the art of fighting, the crane, the dragon, the tiger. That's why it was called martial arts, because it's an art, a discipline, instead of this fighting with no purpose. So when we talk about Muay Thai, Kung Fu, Karate, Ka is the spirit, K-A, Ka, the spirit, the breath, the Ba is the body, so Ka Ra. So that's the spirit of Ra. Karate, Tehuti, the teacher, the teachers. So the teachers of how to move the Ka. I got something real for you in these hands, Leroy. Last Dragon. So we need to get to that. That's what they did UFC for. It took away the art form. It took away the art of martial arts and fighting in the spirituality of studying the netters, which we call nature today. Studying the crane, studying the beast, studying the hippo, studying the lion, studying your environment. Today we formed hip hop and music from studying our environments, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the human animals. And this is what fighting does. Boxing, criminal activity, blood sacrifice. Because in certain fighting, if it became to that and it was two of a nation's greatest warriors, some were organized and it was a fight to the death. in organized fashion. And so watch the movie Best of the Best 2. There's a Best of the Best 1, but Best of the Best 2 shows you how in Las Vegas, before UFC became into commercial real estate in the digital realm, in TVs and VHS, there were underground fights. There were death matches. Watch Best of the Best Part 2. Baracus. And so it basically, boxing became commercialized. And how did they do it? They did it with the so-called troglodyte, the pale-skinned European. Go watch the movie Bloodsport. Whether people say Frank Dukes was fictitious, it basically at the end showed you how when they let the so-called USA military dude into the sacred Asian Chinese underground spiritual fighting tournament, he exposed it and took it to the government. Same with Bruce Lee. The reason why they murdered Bruce Lee is because they told him to stop teaching the white man our sacred arts. That's why he was murdered. And remember, Lee is a Moorish name because the original Chinese are Mers or Moors. Today, what you would call African people are black people, the original Asiatics. So when people say, oh, the Asiatics are referring to Farrakhan's, no. Go study Sambo, go study Sambo, go study the Black Buddhas, go study the Black gods of Asia, the original Asiatic gods of Angkor Wat and Cambodia, the lost world of Cam. So just put a K in front of the Ham, and we know that biblically they talk about Ham. So Cam are the Camites, the Egyptians. So when you go to Cambodia, Angkor Wat, Vietnam, Viet Cong, those are originally us, Egyptian Commission colonies. You are all over the planet. And so in the movie Bloodsport, and then when it came to Bruce Lee, he taught the so-called white man our sacred arts. And what did they do with it? They didn't use it as a spiritual system. They used it to kill us. So when Bruce Lee opened up his school and started teaching white people how to kill, there was a punishment. Because look what happened. Chuck Norris, Jean-Claude Van Damme, who was a gymnast, UFC, this straight fighting with no spiritual essence. And so now you more trained a soulless being how to kill. And that's same with Horace Gracie. I'm surprised something hasn't happened to Horace Gracie for teaching white folks how Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Because you're teaching a half animal, half man, mankind, soulless. So soulless. They have less of a soul because some of them have our blood in them. That's why I teach when you come to America and you see a so-called white person, they have our blood in them and we have their blood in us. We're mixed in here. So you can even go to when we start talking about, when I was talking about Rocky, Tommy the Duke Morrison. Remember Rocky IV? Tommy Morrison was their great white height. For those who study boxing. Tommy the Duke Morrison, more. Because if everyone go type in Tommy Morrison, his brother was mixed. I guarantee you, if you study his bloodline, his great-grandfather was a Moor. That's why his last name was Morrison. And he had curly hair. He looked like a light-skinned brother because a lot of people who you think are white are actually albinos. They're Moorish albinos who mixed in with the troglodytes. So that's when we get into the so-called white Irish, black Irish thing. So when you look at it, your so-called white Irish friends with freckles, they have Moorish blood, African black blood in them. The freckles are simply their melanin coming out. And remember, Irish weren't considered white. They were considered niggers. So that's another, same with the Italians. They were called mulo, the mulak, or mul. And so moolies, I think, or maybe they called us moolies. Whatever, Italians weren't considered white either, because Italians are mixed with Moors, Moorish blood, and that's where you get the mafia, because the mafia knew a lot of the Moorish science. And so that's how they were able to go to Las Vegas, which is the Dead Sea. Las Vegas used to be waterfront property. It used to be the bottom of the ocean. Pyramids all through there. That's why they built the Luxor. That's why they have the fights there. All those blood, they reversed it. So imagine what Las Vegas, that land and that type of city was. So if it's debauchery there, it was reversed. That's why they have magic shows, Circus Soleil, all Chris Angel, you know, those type of acts, because that's what was going on, but the real deal on that land. So when they show you Circus Soleil, they got that from us. When they show you Chris Angel, Larry Houdini, and all those magicians, we were really doing that. Those are pale-skinned Europeans mimicking what they actually saw us doing, manifesting matter and manner, mayat, atoms, attune a frequency with our minds and thoughts. That's why they have us focus on violence. They have us underneath, some of us, a blood deity, a blood sacrificing blood god that requires blood sacrifice for participation in that reality within the matrix hologram. There's multiple realities that we can create as a people, no matter what religion, color we are, but us as a people. You know, we don't have to be entertained by basically miniature blood sacrifices of people trying to kill each other in the ring. You know, we used to shoot fireballs out of our hand and stuff like that. And people say that's fake. No, you can literally, those are the type of schools or institutions that we are supposed to be in. They call it Reiki healing or Raka healing. Re is the sun god, so that's your sun energy, your atoms and photon energy, your soul, using that. And Reiki, your Ka, the Ka, remember, Ka is the spirit, so the spirit of Ra, so the sun's energy through your hands and body to heal. So to touch people, heal the blind, heal the sick. This is why they give you Jesus Christ and Yeshua, and try to convince people that these people that they read about in books, whether they existed or not, that they're the only people who can heal, that they're the only Son of God, when in all actuality, many of us are born with the capabilities to do those things and teach others. So when you get prophets in the Bible like Jesus healing the blind and all these things through hand touch, that's Reiki healing. And that comes from the woman, that comes from the Maya, because we are the original Mayans, Mayat. They can't pronounce Mayat, so they say Mayan, Mayan. You see? So Mayan is a principality of our mothers when she was in her pristine state. Our mothers, when we were in our mother's stomach, her womb, she was speaking to us. That's why women have to have a peaceful environment. And so reading to your child in the womb, talking to your child in the womb, affirmations. The woman is the first teacher. We come through the matrix through her. Her portal is the matrix. She is Sophia and Sophia Stewart. Another word for Sophia, Isis, Aset. You know, the mother principle, Maya. So when they say the original Egyptians, Cometians are the Mayans, that's true, because the original Maya is the so-called black woman, the Moorish woman, the Ruth. And so Rocky, Tommy Duke Morrison, that's the so-called American white boy versus the Italian, because the American white boys and the Italians go at each other. The mob versus the FBI, you know, stuff like that. Oh man, my bad, y'all. I thought I muted it. Disgusting, my bad. So that's the FBI, and he had a fake Don King behind him. So go watch, I think it was Rocky 3 or 4. And then the movie Great White Height with Samuel L. Jackson. The movie Great White Height was showing you the same thing, how they've been trying to create this white savior just like Jesus. There's no J in the Hebrew alphabet. So it would be Yah, Shu, Yahshua. And so when you say those things, that's you as a Merman more, not one in particular person. That's a group, that's a being, that's you, that's a science, that's principles, that's a mind, that's Ka Mary, a son of Mary, because we are sons of Mary. Our mothers are Mary, our mothers are Maya, our mothers are Mayat, our mothers are Neter, Neter. She created the first languages and all that. Our mothers. So Rocky Marciano, the Great White Height. So they had to destroy him. Now, was he in on it? The blood sacrifice? He was in the back seat, no shirt. He survived. We saw that car crash, y'all. We saw how that car looked. It reminds me of Left Eye, which we're going to get into as well. It really reminds me of Left Eye. Look at that plane. Let's look at that car, you know. And so look at the people who passed away. Much love to all those involved. The two people who tragically died in the Anthony Joshua crash were his coaches and close friends, Latz and Senna. Much love, brothers. May your soul fly. If you were good people, I didn't know you personally. But yeah, he could have set up his friends for the sacrifice, or he could have been also part of it so they could take the money, so they could get the purse. This could be a warning, because at the end of the day, for a so-called black man to make that amount of money, even after taxes, after a few minutes, they can't have that, because that would start a trend of so-called white men helping black men get rich and wealthy through sports, which they have to control. They have to control our wealth, like the NFL, NBA, MLB, hockey, all these sports they have to control. Look what happened to Venus and Serena. Everyone look up Arthur Ashe, the great black male tennis player who mysteriously died of an AIDS transfusion, even though I heard he possibly, I'm not sure he was a homosexual. I'm not sure. But either way, they poisoned that brother, because it would have taught young black men to Moors, because tennis is a Moorish sport, just like golf, all the sports. John Naismith didn't invent basketball. All these ball games were invented by us. Boxing invented by us. Martial arts invented by us, as we are the original Asians. You know, they get mad at us when we become who we are, because their world is based off of our ignorance. Their world crashes down, and once we separate, they'll go back to fighting and killing each other, because all their cultures is based off of us. Their math, algebra, sciences, but it's all based off of our sciences that we taught them. So for us to be looked at as God again, as the Superman, the original Superman, it's illegal. So it's either he was in on it, or they were trying to take all of them out to send a message to stop that reality from going any further. You know, because once a reality starts momentum, it's nonstop, like hip hop. It was going, and then they had to circumvent it, because it was breaking ourselves free. And once it's a purpose, instead of gangster rap and party music, when it's conscious and underground and has soul, hip hop can change reality. The artist, the musician, the rap, the rapper, the rapture is the rapper that can deliver a song, all this one song that can spark the mind of enough people to think enough to question reality. And then us as superheroes have to have our worlds built so people can live comfortably in them. Just like when you're your local celebrity and you're that guy or girl and people can live in your reality, it's the same thing on a broader scale. But your celebrities who they put in positions sign contracts with what you call shaitan or Satan, and they're under contract, and it's a blood contract with the deity of Judaism who asked for blood sacrifice. Because as we know, the God of the Bible asked for blood sacrifice, sacrificed his own begotten son, and his son screamed on the cross, Eli, Eli, Elohim, why have you forsaken me? Oh, he said, Father, why have you forsaken me? Eli, Eli, Elohim, calling upon the ancient Egyptian gods and Moorish gods. So that's the story. The story of Yahshua would be a story of a Moor being deceived by an entity outside of this realm. Our entity that used to walk and talk during the cool of day, had emotions, blew up the Tower of Babel to confuse the language of people. That's a physical being that's hiding right now, manipulating his human subjects. And so this is all part of it. The God of the Bible is the devil, he's Satan. And so they can't allow us to figure it out that we are Superman, Ka'il. And what's the original name of Superman? It's an Egyptian Moorish Cometian name, a sun god, because you are the original sun gods. You are Meteor Man. You are Hancock. You are the Black Panther. And remember, there are lions in America, and I ain't lying. Like they said, Snoop Lion. In California, we have mountain lions, y'all. And if you come to the Mission Inn, you'll see lions outside in the crest. Because imagine if the city's not built up, those lions, those mountain lions, they're gonna grow a mane if there's more donkeys and other big game to hunt. So there's lions in America. There's cougars, pumas. We're the big cats. You go from a dog, a wolf, Anubis to the big cat, jaguar. So yeah, once you see that you're God and Superman and a mutant and an extraterrestrial being with purpose, now you can build a nation. Now on our own land, we don't go to Las Vegas for the prime fights. Everyone in the world comes to Thunder Rock. All the big fights, if you're gonna fight in an organized fashion, you're gonna do it on Dr. Jason's land. And we're gonna split it with the troglodyte. So no more, or any man of African descent soon should never fight on any so-called white man's card or any of their facilities. Unless it's a split agreement between the Moorish nation, Washita, Choctaw nation, the Italians, or the Jews. That's how it needs to be. Nation versus nation in equal competition. So Jake Paul versus Joshua, that's what Tyson Fury represented. Tyson Fury represented the Slavic knocking out the Moor. That's why he had those fixed gloves. And Wilder ain't been the same since. You know? And he talked about how he was used. They put a girl on him. They put women on our brothers to tear them down as well financially. And so that's why we're supposed to have multiple wives as well. Multiple wives is going to save you brothers and us brothers from a lot of the problems when you have a woman who really loves you and isn't tripping, and then able to, once you get that team, distinguish what women are righteous and we could do business with. You know, the reason why Moors and us black men fail is because the so-called white man's war tactics is for you to only have one woman. And that's really a selfish westernized woman who doesn't want you to win. Now, if you're a selfish piece of poop man who's just getting women just for sex and to use them, yeah, you're a pimp. We're talking about nation building, business, nation building, a true tribe. That's really what it's about. So if a so-called Moor has his mind together and the woman understands that, that's the reverse of what pimps do. That's a dangerous thing, because now instead of the pimp role, that man who's in charge has women who aren't going to sell their pussy. They're going to handle business. And that's where madams and the sacred whore, the harlots, that's why in certain regions they have whorehouses, legal and unlegal, because that's where the top men go to fuck. So it is what you watch the Diddy trial. You see, if you ever in Hollywood and was in there, all the girls get turned out for the most part. And girls will say, "Oh, I didn't do it." Well, you were one of the ones who didn't. But for the most part, if you want a role in a movie, you're gonna have to sell the pussy. You're gonna have to give it up, or another girl will. So people try to say they're male figures, and all these dudes in Hollywood and women know they give it up. You're gonna learn about Tyler Perry soon too. All these dudes been participating, even dudes who've been saying that. I'm not going to even start going, because you guys got to know, if you grew up in Southern California, most of the celebrities, if you're talented enough to get to that level, which I am and which I was. So a lot of people say, oh, certain things don't exist because they think that the only people who got to see behind the curtain of Hollywood are those who you saw on TV, when there are a lot of artists who were actually superior talented than a lot of the people you see on TV. And the term blackball really happened to where people like me, I started talking about Jesus on MySpace, Facebook, and they were like, fuck no, we're not signing him. We're not fucking with him. He's crazy. All this shit. But the dude can talk about gangbanging, thugging, killing people, robbing people. But I'm talking about spaceships, it's a problem. I'm saying that we're gods, it's a problem. Pop my collar, y'all know what I mean? I'm living in a spaceship, planet Earth, my spaceship, living in a matrix. Pop my collar, know what I mean? I'm living in a spaceship, planet Earth, my spaceship, living in a matrix. That song came out in 2008. I was the only one in Hollywood talking about the Matrix. So any rapper of our generation, I graduated 2000 up, class of 2000 in high school. I was the only one talking about the Matrix and all that. Jay-Z had a bar, but even at the end of the bar, he fucked up, if you could hear it. He said, red or green pill, you live and you learn. It's red or blue pill. And so, but that was before me, before I got in the booth. That's the only person I ever heard mention Matrix. And so, mushroom talk, spaceship talk, alien talk, pharaoh talk, God talk, that we're gods, all that came from me, bro. From my generation, I started that in Hollywood, bro. I was the one at every Grammy Award. I was the one at every American MTV Music Award, American History Awards, BET Awards, all the ones in Hollywood. I was there, backstage, there in the audience, there with everybody, all your favorite celebrities, smoking weed in my tour van, had TVs in my tour van and all that. And, so I saw behind the curtain. My manager was Michael DeBarge. Of the DeBarge family, Michael Jackson's godson, Janet Jackson's cousin. Like I can get in deep with the Jackson family. So with this, it's an example of the cabal, what Epstein Island's about, why they're showing Diddy so much. Because brothers don't run the industry of boxing, sports, and media. They're learning it from something. So behind boxing, there's murder, there's blood sacrifice, and behind every football game, there's a murder. I need to watch that Marlon Wayans movie. I heard that shows the dark side of football. The movie Last Boy Scout with Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis and Halle Berry. They killed Halle Berry at the end. So it was showing you that they killed these women who found out that Football dealt with drug trafficking, gambling, murder, all that. All of that. All of your games are rituals. The sideline is a certain lane, the points, the numbers. Same with the diamond in baseball. I took a class called sports psychology at Cal State San Marcos, and it broke down how every single sport is deliberately built. It's psychology. It's built for the mind, and it's literally a mind game. That's why the numbers, the bases are separated at a certain amount of feet. Go study sports psychology, and it'll teach you that sports is it's a intelligent design mind control program. 100 yards, first down, 10 yards, the amount of time per quarter, 4 quarters, $1. All these things are hidden in sports, and so the gambling is clearly rigged because it's in Vegas. It's dealing with money. It's dealing with numbers. They can make money just off of the numbers. Remember, they used to run numbers in Harlem, where they got the lottery from. The actual lottery ticket system and the Powerball system came from Moors and Black people in Harlem. So they have to control it, because imagine when we control our own leagues. Imagine when no Black man plays in the NFL, because we already have our own stadiums and organized leagues where the best of the best play. And then if the so-called white boys, they'll still have their NFL, we play against them. Same thing in boxing. Moor versus the Italian, Moor versus the Asian, Korean, just like the Olympics. But this time in the Olympics, no Black person can compete for another country. But wait a second. Every country was started by a Moor. So if it's Russia and you see a Black person or a Moor running, they started that country. All the countries were started by us. So of course we represent every country. But if we were to just say those of direct African descent or direct Moorish descent versus those of non-African, they'll say we're African too, we're Moorish too, I am Moorish, but no. The true separation. European, even though we're the real Europeans, right? Those of Europea, because Europe is based off of Europa, to rope someone in, which a Moorish queen did that. We designated a land and roped them in and gave them an opportunity to see how they would function in their own city, and we see what happened. So basically what I'm saying, I don't like to use the term black or white, but in a modern day sense, if you took all the best Black athletes for the Olympics, the best swimmers, the best versus white athletes, that's a real competition, and we would see who are the superheroes and who are not. And then we could do it through having our own land, like Monopoly, right? When we have our own land and our own technology, we're able to showcase our supreme intelligence under the sun, under the stars, under the Ka, within the spirit, because our machine, our avatar suit is an electrical conductor, which we call melanin. What we call neuromelanin is basically highly classified information. We are the sun in a body. That's why it's a gift. You know, when we talk about the word God or Yeshua, Ogun, all these different, Ogun is you. You are Ogun, by the way. It's a ancestor now, someone that passed on that still ascends, but that's a brother, which is you. It's an aspect of you. And so, but when we talk about Yeshua or Yahweh, they need human hosts, right? They need human hosts. So when we have our own land, we create our own deities and gods. You know, we create gods of corn, gods dedicated to watermelon. You know, it's agriculture, feeding your food. So if they could control the land, They can control our innovation. They can control our education system. They can control our curriculum and trick us into believing we are so-called black people, which we don't look at as black being infinite and all this stuff. We say black power and that we were slaves and descendants of slaves. When we say more indigenous, which indigenous was Atachachanas, all that. So indigenous, they were trying to say Atochanos and all those things and words that they basically can't pronounce. And so it's the land. It's us having the mind. So when a boxer of this size and another brother who can't get punked by the mob or the FBI has his land, has his buildings, has his structure, the wealth comes in our culture. The wealth can start with the sports. We don't need casinos in that sense. We could box. We have the best black boxers go against everyone else. And you have to pay to come, and then we film it. Same thing with the NFL. Football, we don't play in the white man's football league. We create our own stadiums. The world will come. Same with basketball. Ice Cube is a perfect example. 3-on-3, where we build stadiums on our land. No black person or no more plays in a white-owned league. Or there's punishment, you know, or do what you do. You get no fruits of the labor. You're a sellout if you play for them. Do that, play for them. But no, we have our own basketball stadiums, and then we play against the pale-skinned Europeans, the Asians, the Hindus, and the Native Americans. Let's not forget about the Native Americans. If the Native Americans of today are the original people of America, they should be in the Olympics. Why don't we ever see a Native American in the 100-yard dash, the 200 meters? Why don't we ever see a Native American Tonto, the great Navajo boxer? People say, well, the Mexicans are. No, the modern day Mexicans are Spanish mixed with Asian. And the dark Mexicans who have a hint of curly hair or flat nose are mixed with Moorish blood or African blood. They're mixed. That's where you get you learn about the Mexican mob. The strongest ones are the darkest Mexicans. Those are the ones who really control. I won't get into detail. That ain't my business. But they'll tell you the Mexicans in jail know. That's where you get Serrano. The Serranos, the Southerners, are the Spaniards. That's why they have the goatee like the Spaniards. And the Norteños are the Moors, the Moors. That's why the Norteños fuck with the brothers up north. So they have to use the Serranos, the Southern Army of the Spanish, because that's what the Serranos of Southern California represent. They represent the Spanish army to kill the Moors, and that's why the Mexican gangs in Southern California kill black people. They're the Spanish army, and that's why they're trying to infiltrate hip-hop so they can circumvent that energy. Can you imagine Mexicans take over hip-hop, my nigga, and they're racist? Oh my God, you can't stop that hip-hop energy. That's why they had to turn hip-hop so we talking about killing each other. Because it was reversed, like we were saying, fuck the police, fuck the government. No, fuck the... Oh, it's over. And there's a man who was doing it. He goes by the late, great, infinite Muhammad Ali. Want to say we love you, Muhammad Ali. We praise your name. We anoint your name and we uplift your name, even because praise is bad. But I love you, Muhammad Ali. I thank you, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad. For me, the word Muhammad doesn't represent just a person. For me, it represents a civilization. When I see the word Muhammad, I see M-U. Mu. Het-Haru. Het-Heru. Better known as Hathor, the mushroom god, the cow deity, because the cow produces the psilocybin psychedelic mushroom, Mu, and descendants of Mu, the infinite beings of Mu, the island of Mu, Lemuria, Atlantis, high advanced civilizations before the so-called reset or the Great Flood. Then I see Ham, Mu, Ham. I say Cam, because Ham represents Cam, Kemet, the Cometians, the Phoenicians that created advanced civilizations all throughout the galaxy and all throughout the planet. So Mu, Cam, descendants of Mu, who created Kemet, which we know as Egypt today, which is an education system. So that means you could travel with that education system all over the world and set up shop wherever you go. And then Mu, Ham, Mu, Cam, AD. And that, for me, the AD would represent it's after the death of these civilizations. And a Muhammad, a person who is a Muhammad, would represent a person who has the knowledge of these advanced civilizations before the reset. And the Ali would represent a title of that person within that brotherhood. And that can be a person, just like Pharaoh. Pharaoh is a title, so we'll say which Pharaoh. And so Muhammad Ali was banned from boxing for 3 years for refusing to be drafted into the Vietnam War. My father was drafted. My father was drafted, bro. And he said that was the first time he cried for real, you know. And he had to wipe his tears because he said his dad was coming out from the house or the back. I was like, why'd you wipe your tears? He said, shit. He said back then you couldn't cry. He said, you couldn't cry like you do now. People cry now. He said, He said, not down south, you couldn't cry like that, especially war. You know, granddaddies, all our granddaddies went to war for most of us. A lot of our grandfathers were military. So both sides of my were military grandfathers. And my dad got drafted into Vietnam. So you talk about towns, black men wiped out. But one thing for sure is that they teach us is that when they were in Vietnam, there were black statues of Moors, temples that they were blowing up. So they were looking for treasures and they were blowing up evidence of ancient Kemet, the Cam people, the Egyptians, us as Mers or Moors being in Vietnam, because we were all over creating different matrix realities. Watch the show Westworld. Watch the show Westworld, and I would say that's what we're living in. We're different time periods. We were on different lands because different lands are ley lines, and it would be a different experience. Just like your experience is different if you're in LA, Riverside, Chicago, LA, land, but different ley lines under the so-called lights, the stars. Mohammed, the black Superman, who says to all the other guys, I'm Ali. Catch me if you can. Dun, 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 dun. Catch me if you can. And that's how the Muhammad Ali song. Muhammad Ali used to rap, y'all. Muhammad Ali was a rapper, y'all. I promise you, go look it up. Muhammad Ali had a song called Black Superman too. And isn't this something? DC Comics, Muhammad Ali knocks out Superman. Because the original Superman is you as a Moor. You are indigenous, you are melanin, you are infinite. You are just simply in a spacesuit. Your Ka is infinite. The Ra is infinite. You are an infinite being. You cannot die. This physical avatar can die. And that's what they try to stop. They try to stop us from experiencing and thinking as gods and superheroes, in which we are and which we come from. We come from a different dimension. And so we're dealing with Muhammad Ali, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. And so he told the white man, you are the devil! And they respected him. Ain't that something? You got niggas now who wouldn't dare. But my dad said this. I asked my dad, I said, well, why didn't you die in Vietnam? He said, Muhammad Ali only got away with that because he was a celebrity, son. He said, don't be fooled by that. He said, because he said black men were going to jail for a long time for that. So anyone watching, if you have any knowledge, let me know on that, because my father passed away and there's still things that he taught me that I like even, I can dig up mentally through my psychic telekinesis abilities and superhero talents, but also I like to learn. So if anybody has stories of their father or grandfather in Vietnam, hit me up, let's talk, you know. So yeah, man, to get drafted, my dad told me, he said, son, don't you ever worry about anything on the news or none of that. Let other people worry, let moms trip, let you, and he talked to me. He said, unless they initiate the draft, don't worry about what they show you on TV. I said, well, what? He said, now if they initiate the draft, now that's something to be concerned about. So imagine that, y'all. Imagine living during a time. He said people think Donald Trump is bad. Imagine if Donald Trump told everyone today that every single man of a certain age has to go to war. And if you don't go to war, we're going to arrest you and put you in prison, Guantanamo Bay style, or force you to go. My father lived through that and survived. So we talk about a different type of black man, bro, than we have today. You know, I'm thankful for my father. I'm thankful because a lot of my friends didn't have a father, and I see the outcome. Even if they do make money, it's a big difference. It's a big difference. And then if someone has a father, a lot of brothers, their dads are idiots, niggas. Fucking, I have friends whose dads think it's cool to still gangbang and shit. You know, be ignorant, be thug. Teach your son to be a thug. Girls too. Teach your son to be a god. You know, don't teach your son to worship Jesus. You teach them the principalities, the morals and values of each man. Because each man performs a miracle if you survive of a certain age as a so-called black man. That's a miracle, homie. We perform miracles every day. They just don't define them as that against all odds. We are miracles. It's a miracle for you to be born a black man or a Moor, an Indian. It's a miracle to be born a Moor, homie. When you bust a nut inside of a woman and you are born, the chances of you out of all the millions of sperm cells, you made it. You made it. So you're already elite. The fact that you're experiencing what they call hurt. It's a hertz. It's the electrical frequency. Hurt. Set tepen ra moon. So Muhammad Ali, although a celebrity and might have been locked up for a longer time, like brothers who weren't celebrities and were murdered in Vietnam, he still opposed it out loud. How many black celebrities do you know called a white man the devil to his face? I believe Muhammad Ali was poisoned. And then I don't argue if he was punched in the head and that as well. But for me, you know, I say he was poisoned. So Muhammad Ali represents what we as so-called Murs or Moors, I self-law and master, when we use those principalities to better ourselves, our arm, our leg, our arm, our head as the embodiment of the Kabbalah. The Ka, the spirit, the Ba, the body. Kabbalah, the body of Allah is you. Anatomy and physiology, Anu, Anpu, the Moorish priests who mastered the anatomy, human anatomy, the physiology, and then mastered the pi, able to map the mathematical codes of the stars and ley lines, Pi Ra, the pirates. Those who, for me, pirates represent Pi and Ra. Pi, the mathematical code of Ra. And that's why the pi symbol is a symbol, 3.14, 7.94, all that. It's a symbol. The pi is a symbol. So Pi Ra, for me, is the mathematical code of Ra, which we were able to unlock, able to bend time and space, and basically bend material matter, atoms and photons and electrons. Because we're in a video game. We're in a matrix hologram. And that's cool because that means we can practice, we can become better people. It's a weeding out process for who went against, like you get the principles, the father and the mother going against your mom and dad, unless your dad and mom aren't in their right state of mind. But when they are, it's good to listen, but you still, like your dad says, you got to go on your own and fly. So, it's not about leaving the nest and making money and having your own house and having children. It's about you leaving the nest and being able to come back to the mother and father nest and be your own person, have your own mind. So if you're a grown man and you're still a Christian believing in Jesus, nigga, you're a baby boy mentally. Just because you got kids and money in your own house, you're mentally a baby boy. Oh, I pay the bills, nigga, you're a baby boy because you think like your mom. And if your mom taught you to be a Christian, she isn't fully aware of who she is. So you're supposed to reject that as a son of Maya, you know, Mayat's son, you know what I'm saying. So sons of Maya, defenders of Maya. That's really what we are. Jason, July, August, September, October, November, the sacred order of Jason. Jason's world, Jason's universe, Jason's multiverse, Jason society. The most intelligent elite educators in the galaxy. We walk amongst you. So, dignity in Final Portrait. Isn't that a title? Not about money, not the richest. Dignity. When I saw my father's funeral, his passing, dignity, honor, respect. Wasn't about the money. It was about how he treated others, and also what he did for others that I didn't even know. Mom's is the superstar. Dad is the king. And Dad's a king. Washita, Letcher, Louisiana, descendant of the Washita Moors. A righteous king. So that's why they shut down Shador Sanders and Dion. They attempted to. They attempted to shut down the young God, Shador. Much love, young brother. We love you, proud of you. For being cocky and arrogant, they say, no, he's a son of Ra. He's what you call a son of God, a son of Maya, an Indian. He's supposed to be that way. The so-called European troglodyte, the so-called white man, is jealous because he doesn't naturally have that amount of Ra, the sun, the soul. The so-called white man, the so-called pale-skinned European, does not have enough soul. The word soul means sun. So he does not have enough soul to be, rolling and doing it. He doesn't, so he gets jealous. He gets jealous of you because it reminds him of what he lacks, because he is black. Nationality, is it? Put a B in front of lack. The black man, the one who lacks melanin. But we have, they said, the black substance, neuromelanin, melanin more in our brains than them. So the neuromelanin, the melanin is a neuroconductor that allows you to connect to Ra, the sun, the Sirius sun, all the stars. So that means that you are a radio channel. You are a radio tower. You are the soul man. You are Solomon. Your pineal gland is the frequency, the crystal skull. The crystal skull who's able to beam out. Your body is technology. The Kabbalah is the study on how to operate your machine. You are a highly advanced machine who has not been taught to operate its Kabbalah. So they have our people afraid of the Kabbalah by giving you Madonna. She was the first celebrity that I can remember, but they reverse it. So if Madonna introduced Kabbalah to mainstream, who is the original Madonna? The Moorish woman. Therefore, that meant that all of us, like I did, should be practicing your technology, which is the Kabbalah. The Kabbalah is technology on how to operate your body and manifest in real time. Dr. Jason E. Williams. And where was Muhammad Ali from? King Tut City. King Tuk Amun. Kentucky. King Tut City. So Kentucky was the capital for King Tut. But remember, King Tut is a title. That's a title. It is a title. Catch my breath real quick.
Damn, the put a slug through his face. Make sure that politician death does not work.
The arrest of a scholarship student at Cal State San Marcos prompted a protest this afternoon.
Hey, shake, rally, roll. Time for this revolution.
Scholarship track star Jason Williams.
And he said, I'm sick and tired of all these people here at this university. All you care about is the
Trying to burn down the U.S. government for show. These are prophecies of a
Who in their right mind as a college student is thinking that if I get pulled over with a kitchen utensil, then I'm gonna go to jail. They booked me with a felony.
So, you hear me, yo? Turn these philosophies up in your stereo.
Headed to the safari, your boy is actually on the very bumper. Look.
I can speak it to the ears. Anybody hear my music? Is anybody out there? Moms and pops is tripping. And like you need to move out. For me, it's too much. Well, I'm like, fuck, mom. Come with the Africa. The American dream. A lot harder than it seems. Brothers banging the blocks. Sisters punching the clocks. Children's raising themselves. So they raising up hell. Who is created equal? God. I do it for my people. Jason, tell me who is God? Cause in my mind, it's all of y'all.
Sorry, right now we're at the Cougar National Park. See the elephants. because you're a wannabe.
Understand what we landed. Pack the motherland. Then I came back with a master plan. While these scared motherfuckers run the church, we run from the cops who shoot us under the dirt. Suffering is suffering, pain is pain. Tears are fears on the rainy day. A white man suffering, a black man pain. Sometimes I question, is it all the same? I can speak it to the ears. Will anybody hear my music? Is anybody out there? Mom and pops is tripping. And like, you need to move out. The belief is too much. Well, I'm like, fuck, mom. I went to Africa.
Hey, Colin, how you doing? This is where I brothers live. Campfire.
This was authentic. No pretending I am a relic. Saw a little cage on a block. Open at the age of 5. Pops and mama done died of AIDS. AIDS in the mind, it's all a game. I can speak it to the ears. Will anybody hear my music? Is anybody out there? Mama, pops, tripping. And like, you need to move out. The police is too much. I'm like, fuck, mom. I went to Africa.
It's recording.
I can speak it to the ears. Will anybody hear my music? Is anybody out there? Mom and pops is tripping. And like, you need to move out. The belief is too much. Well, I'm like, fuck, mom. I went to Africa. I can speak it to the ears. Will anybody hear my music? Is anybody out there? Mom and pops is tripping. I can speak it to the ears. Will anybody hear my music? Is anybody out there? Mom and pops is tripping. And like, you need to move out. The belief is too much. Well, I'm like, fuck, mom. I went to Africa.
Right now, we're in Swaziland at an AIDS rehabilitation center. Every kid that you're about to see has AIDS and they're orphans and they really don't have nothing. That's why we need to come back and help our people, everyone, help the human race. So that's the school that they live in, not live in, but go to school. That's the rehabilitation center. You didn't see, but someone just recently broke in and stole all the computers. Now they have really, truly nothing. You know, it's like the sore eyes, but, you know, it's something that you gotta see.
Yeah? Alright guys, let's be in a picture. Ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
That's the school over there. Right here. The folks you see weren't like that. They just acted like that. They weren't around the black folks. They talked to them and shit. Now they you know how it goes. Come back, help it. We got the cheddar, we got the cheese, we got the movement. Let's do it. Look at the people. Look at our future suffering. Look at our people dying. We got the money. We got it all. Why aren't we here? That's a question we need to pose. Black America. It's your people. It's time to come back. Let's get it.
And that was Jason E. Williams in 2006 with his bachelor's degree from Cal State San Marcos, and I ran track for Colorado State at that time. So that's me, fresh from graduating with my bachelor's degree from Cal State University San Marcos, California State University of San Marcos in San Diego County, next to Oceanside. I was captain of the university track team and a former record holder in the 400 hurdles, All-American before, you know, I was gonna win a national championship and I said gold medal. I got arrested, like that clip I showed you. It was on Fox News. So when you talk about real leadership and someone who got something snatched, the dream that I've been working on all my life, that me and my father have been training for all my life, building up. You know, you guys know they put me on Ritalin and ADD, all that shit, bro. And I still made it. And they fucking arrested me, you know, tried to kill me that night. But I survived. And because of my integrity and honor and dignity, people from all colors and nationalities on that campus, Mecha, much love to Mecha. That's why I always say much love to all my Mexican homies and homegirls. It was really Mexican women, you know, and that's another thing, you know, Mexican women naturally love us. That's why the Mexican dudes get mad. That's why they started allowing them to sell more dope and get violent, because Mexican girls were having babies with brothers. So now the Mexican dudes have more money. And that's why you see in Southern California, all these Mexican businesses, all these taco shops, all these new clubs. That's not from hard work. Or you would see so-called black people having the same thing. That's the government allowing the cartel and the mob and gangs who are infiltrated the police departments, the sheriff's departments, to allow Mexican police officers who belong to the cartel and mob to distribute money through drugs in every city in Southern California and distribute it throughout the country. That's where the Mexicans are getting the majority of the money to open up all these businesses. Because if you do the statistics of black-owned businesses in Southern California, it's beyond alarming. That's basically saying that black people are this stupid, ignorant, and this altogether dumb. Out of 170 million men in the United States, only 1,000 to 1,600 are doctors in education. EDD. Look up the statistics, everyone, right now on your phone. Type in, what is the percentage of black men with a doctorate in education? ED.D. EDD is a doctorate in education. So a doctorate, EDD. So type in how many black men in the world have an EDD, Doctor of Education degree? And get back to me. Everyone, I'm I'm giving you 10 seconds. Type it in. How many black men have a doctorate in education, Ed.D? Just like it's spelled there. Let me on the screen. The EDD is that. How many black men in America have that? And tell me the statistics it says on your phone. I can't see the chat right now. Computer. But if you're watching, let's get back to it. So basically 1,000 to 1,600. That's less than 1%. That's not us as a people being dumb and stupid. That's a program. Same thing with the God that they gave us. You know, black people hate everything about the government, say everything is crooked, but when you tell them that Jesus and God are the final steps of the mind control program. No, Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, He paid my bill. I got a car, I got a house. But there's homeless people, you niggas ain't got nothing. Black people in America, you are under a mind control spell. You are under a spell. You are cursed. You have been cursed. A curse has been put over your mind and it has blinded you to the real matrix hologram. Where are your cities? Black people glorify the hood because they think that's what they have. And what was the saying that our parents would tell us when gangbanging started? They'd be like, man, they're killing each other and they don't even own them streets. Killing each other over a color. Even though we know that the original gang banging in the sets were done to protect the neighborhood from the devils in the police department, because the pale-skinned Europeans used to hop out of their police cars on Compton Boulevard and kill niggas, shoot them and beat them. So certain grandfathers had to forge certain sets using the sciences as they started infiltrating us in Southern California, Watts, Compton, South Central, escaping the Indian Wars. We were fleeing a racial persecution, y'all, because when you take out Indian, just call it for what it is. When they say the Moorish Inquisition, that's them killing black people. When they, where are all the Native Americans? Where are they in the Olympics? They don't exist. Where are the Native American singers, pop stars? You're lying. We are the Indians. We are the Mers. We are the old Mexicans, the old people of Mecca, old Mecca. Amaru, A Mary, Ka Mary, Tu Mary, children of Maya, children of Mary, descendants. We are those people. And look at him, showing love to his daughter. Much love to Layla Ali. When do we see that? We see this clown. This fucking clown. Floyd Money Mayweather. Owned by the Jewish mafia. Owned. Floyd Mayweather Jr. was honored with the World Champion for Israel Award at the Republican Jewish Coalition event. I will always be the voice for the people in Israel. I will always stand behind the country of Israel. There is no such thing. It's made up. It's made up. Recently, everyone watching this show, type in, when was the country of Israel founded? Not ancient. Unless you're dealing with the original Moorish people who occupied all these lands. Now, if you're talking about that, brother, that is true. Because Israel, Isis, Aset, that's Mu, that's the mother. Ra, that's you as the sun god. And El, the title, you as the most intelligent professor, teacher. That's a science. Because remember, your body is technology. Your mind proves that we come from an intelligent higher frequency. Your heart, your lungs, your toes, proof of a higher intelligence than what the so-called pale-skinned European teaches you is real. He gives you God and Jesus as the most powerful thing, because he knows when you find out that there is a space fleet and an aqua fleet, an underwater civilization in which we come from originally too, that's more powerful than them. It crushes their reality, and people will either be prepared and know, or people will panic because everything they thought was real will be destroyed instantly. But they're doing it slowly because it can't be forcefully. People be passing out, having heart attacks when they see aliens and extraterrestrial beings, the gods that they say they worship. You know, remember, the God of the Bible continuously says there's only one God. And if there's only one God, that person would never have to say there's only one God. Get it? So that means that that particular deity needs humans in order to represent him. That's not the creator of the universe. That's an extraterrestrial being that is hiding, whether it's in outer space, whether it's using cloaking technology, our masters, the Ka and Ba, to metamorphosize into anything, or living underground inside of the earth. Because remember, a being, an almighty knowing being, wouldn't necessarily turn this down. An almighty being who created the universe wouldn't be jealous. An almighty being wouldn't have to keep reminding his followers to worship him. Why? Because even throughout the Bible, other civilizations and other people had different gods. Other civilizations had built towers to the sky and had one language. Therefore, that's proof that there were people who did not believe in God. Because God is a word, G-O-D, spelled backwards, dog. Dog, Sirius dog, the Sirius dog star, Orion's belt. So if you're saying God spelled backwards, which we say is dog, that would mean that the God comes from Orion's belt. Orion's belt. So that's an extraterrestrial being. And so once we identify that, now you're able to see how the government has been in cahoots with extraterrestrial beings, and so have our ancestors. Righteous extraterrestrial beings that would teach us to farm, give us technology to better farm, codes and hieroglyphs, our sacred geometry to think a certain way that'll bend your mind a certain way to help you think and manifest, you know, and to evolve. The higher you think, if the more you truly evolve. We are being, well, humans, they're being de-evolved by media, obsessed. When you turn on the TV, Kim Kardashian, Laker game, Raider game, Super Bowl, New Year's, Christmas, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, Halloween. I mean, it's nonstop mind control to trap you in the Matrix hologram so you forget. Like the movie Little Monsters with Fred Savage. You guys remember the movie Little Monsters with Fred Savage, and the monster's name was Maurice. And so this green being played by Howie Mandel, he would come up out of the bed, but he would teach the kid to do evil, wicked things. And I can admit that because of that movie, I copied and did a lot of those tricks on people. I would want to laugh, but definitely had to pay for karma. But it was all in fun, but really it was devilish. It was teaching me to be a freaking devil. Yeah, because, go watch it. Piss in your apple juice. He pissed in the kid's apple juice. It's like, I'm going to do that to someone who fucked with me. The saran wrap on the toilet paper. All sorts of stuff. Tuna instead of tuna. The cat. They put the cat food instead of tuna and stuff. But basically, when they went in the underworld, he was having so much fun, he forgot that he was in the underworld. And if you stayed there too long, you couldn't go back. And that's what's happening now. We're in the Duat. We're in hell. We're in hell right now. And so this is the land of the living dead. This dream world. That's why they call it the American dream. They give us days, months, years, calendars, jobs, holidays to trap you here. So you don't even think and say, holy shit, I've been here for 10,000 years. I've been here a million years. I was a lion. I was a white person. I was all these. I was a plumber. I was a basketball star. I was this. I was a pianist. I got hung from a tree. Oh, they chopped my head off. All these things, you know. So they don't want you to eat from mu, hetaru, hatar, because the cow produces the almighty mu. And what is the mu? The mushroom, the mu's room, mushroom, mu's room. So in order to tap into mu still, eat the magic mushroom, the Smurf village. The psilocybin activates your pineal gland so you can have a direct connection to the mother chip, the mothership, the motherboard, the source. So once you understand, overstand through all angles, 720 degrees times infinity, you understand the hologram, the matrix. The beauty of being a winner in the video game to even compete for the freaking prize. It's like Ready Player One. Everyone's going the direction that the government and the church is telling them to go, the TV telling them to go, your friends, your family who are hypnotized too, they're going the wrong direction because those who have attempted to hijack the Matrix hologram want you to go that way. They want you to believe in God. They want you to believe in Jesus. They'll tell you to worship the man instead of the principalities. Or like I did in high school when I graduated from Notre Dame High School in Riverside, California, we had to take religious study classes and I took them very seriously, even though I did joke around. I took it seriously. And so we learned about Al-Qaeda, how bin Laden and all those dudes were trained by military in Atlanta. I learned about the killer priests, basically, which that means is that those who represent the Vatican Church in secret, and they go around basically as infiltrators and then they kill people, you know. And so it goes down to that. Where was I going with that? Because I said a word and it made me think of something. But where were we going? Wish I could catch that wave that I had. As we were talking about the Vatican Church, the slang. But anyway, so basically, I stand with Israel and the Jews all around the world. I stand with righteous Jewish people as well. If you're persecuting someone because they're pale-skinned Jewish, that's wrong. Because I know for a fact that there are righteous Jewish people in their world, or they try to do their best. Like, let's say I have a Jewish relative who's pale-skinned Jew, and when they find out this information, they can get killed, they get in trouble, they lose their legacy and their inheritance. And then the question would be like, damn, Jason, so you want me to give you all my money? Is that what you're saying? You want me to give up my inheritance and give it all to you? You know, it's like, yeah, motherfucker. But we got to learn to operate business as well. Us as a people have to be more organized, strategic, structured, disciplined to run a country, to run a business, let alone a country. And that's what they do. They divide us. And then they make us think that only these group of people are able to organize themselves. Well, how about this? What if the pale-skinned Jews who are righteous are simply the record keepers for us, Moors and Mers, for when we do awaken, some of us that do, they can teach us the arts and sciences that are ours, because you've lived multiple lives, some of us. You are the creators of these sacred scripts that became scriptures, because the scriptures are simply movies put into action. So when people say, oh, the Bible's true, the word of God's coming true, the Bible's coming true, the Bible says this, that's because they wrote the script, you big dummy. They wrote the Bible so they can create the acts to make it, because you don't know shit and you're dumb. You think that all these events that are occurring, oh, it's a flood, it's a war, they're doing it to trick you so you die believing this shit is fucking real. Meanwhile, they're treasure hunting like Ready Player One. Everyone's going the wrong way. You got to travel back in time like Marty McFly. And who are the McFlies? The Mers, the Moors. Mick or Mers, Moore, Marty, Moore, Martyr, Moorer. Marty McFly, the Moor who has to travel back in time through his flux capacitor. Gigawatts. Bending space and time, but going back in your mind to the past when we had advanced civilizations and innovative. That's the future. Flying cars, free energy, pyramids. Instead of schools that teach you to be a slave, pyramids like Harry Potter. Watch the movie called Earthsea. Earthsea, EARTHSEA. It was a beautiful series of movies we used to mushroom and shroom to in college called Earthsea. And it was just so great because that's what I tapped into, that's what it was. Earth was a sea. So it was less like land masses and more water. Mystical oceans, floating land. Oh, so think about this as a water planet. Remember Water World? You know? So the troglodytes just got here. They just found this land. They didn't know this land existed. Remember, they thought they would thaw off. It's not saying that the earth isn't an infinite plane of existence, but they did not know where to go. They just found the trade routes. So imagine the other maps that they have not found. That's what they're looking for. And that's what our ancestors are preparing for. For when they come, we're prepared to go to war with the devil, Satan, Shaitan, and his children who come in all shapes, colors, and sizes. That's why it doesn't matter what color you are in that sense of today's time, because you can look like you can be a black person and be a Satan. You can be a devil. And that's more wicked than the pale skinned devil, because I can look at the pale man and identify him and know his nature, his nectar. His nectar is not the same. The pale-skinned European man, his mother is not you get it? Me and his mother are different. They come from two different creations, even though they all are descendants of our mother. You get it? So our mother, who art in the heavens, that's her vagina. And that's why in ancient Kemet, you see the sky, nut, and coincidentally, when you ejaculate and bust a nut, it's nut, nut. Look up the Egyptian goddess Nut, or Wee Nut. That's the white rabbit. WEBNUT is weed, a web nut, or WENUT. That's the white rabbit deity. Usagi Yojimbo and the Ninja Turtles. Coincidentally, in the movie The Matrix, follow the white rabbit. So there's a white rabbit deity in Egypt, y'all, that was worshipped. Fertility as well. So we're going to start closing it out. And so you saw it right here. Oh, and what is this? King Harris responds to Blueface saying his girl looks like him. We got this kid being, and he was an amazing quarterback. That's a leader. He can box. Like Empress El Anu said, that might not be him. Doesn't look like him. People get cloned, but let's say it is. Coming out of prison and saying Blueface goes in on T.I.'s son King Harris for being weirded out by comparison to Blue's girl, because Blueface said that his girlfriend looks just like King Harris, naming his son King. And so Blueface gets out of prison and says that another boy looks like a girl in his girlfriend. So that means when you're having sex with your girl, you're picturing a dude. Welcome to Hollywood. And as we ended, ex-reality star banned from sex with his dogs. Why isn't this on the news? Why isn't TMZ still blasting this all the time? According to legal documents obtained by TMZ, the judge has ordered Mick Colester to stay at least 500 feet away from all animals, including his pets and all minors, and must refrain from forcing sexual relations on either his children or dogs. Prosecutors have charged him with pandering obscenity involving a minor and sexual acts with animals. This is what they do because it's in their nature. Type in man's best friend. This is why the pale-skinned Europeans says his God, G-O-D, spelled backwards, is a dog. Learn about the dogmen too. Learn about who he was sleeping with in the caves. Learn about where syphilis, gonorrhea, herpes. We didn't have gonorrhea and herpes until the pale-skinned European raped and had sex with our women, because they were fucking each other in the caves. They were having sex with dogs and animals in the caves. There were beings inside of the caves. They call them Yetis, the abominable snowman, Bigfoot. This is why most European men, if they are not mixed in with an indigenous person, they have hair all over their body, because they are the descendants of Sasquatch, the Yeti, Bigfoot, the Matterhorn. They are the hairless ape, mixed in with the albino genes of what you will call the Hindu, the black-skinned, straight-haired beings that we created, which I would say are the first humans that we created. Those with the dark skin like us, but not like the melanin like us, but the dark skin with the straight hair. The Hindus, those are the first humans. then they're the albinos of those, and then those who mixed in with those furry beings in the caves. So you're dealing with a different types of caucasoids that we eventually have to break down. And then D4VD, dead, is what I'm reading. Interesting. Someone go look up where he's from. If he's from California, we're gonna have if he's from Southern California, we're gonna have a different episode. And I'm gonna say something, but I don't know yet. So I'll hold back. I'll wait. But David likely to be indicted by grand jury in Celeste Rivas murder. So right there, once again, Hollywood, blood sacrifice cult. He had an incinerator burner found on his property, chopped the girl up. Not saying, we don't know if he did it, but someone else clearly had to be involved. So that meant that he had either done that before or someone taught him. Either way, this has been going on in Hollywood and all throughout the world. And now the black artists are participating, which they always have. And when they didn't participate or woke up from the spell that was put on them, they were killed, murdered, silenced, or taken out of the matrix to another land or underground cities. Let's talk about it. 2026 coming up. I am Dr. Jason E. Williams. You are tuned into What is the Matrix TV. And as always, I'm going to leave y'all with a dope, cool, awesome video that y'all can relate to what we were talking about. Peace.
Got you, son.
Yo, what's up? It's Jason, the God MC, better known as Elm Street. We out here in Africa, Plano, Egypt, about to open the stargates. You already know everything is atoms, photons, neurons, electrons. So we're gonna turn around right here, and we're gonna show you the Great Pyramid. That's the Great Pyramid. I'm the Great Pyramid. You're the Great Pyramid. We're living it up. Shout out to Toronto, US, Africa, Brazil.
Jane Street finest, man. Jane Street Candy Collection. Toronto. Out here, banging. Hey, see that.
We are at the Temple of Dendera in Africa, built by the ancient Kemites, better known as the Egyptians. These are our ancestors. These are our tombs. Peace to the planet, soul to the planet. This is the end of the days. We're about to shut this shit down.
556 rotations around the sun, we've been kept under the spell, family. But tonight, on these stones our ancestors carved, the veil glitches. Look around you, this world is a hologram. 29,556 rotations around the sun, we've been kept under the spell, family. But tonight, on these stones our ancestors carved, the veil glitches. Look around you, this world is a hologram.
Children of the sun, Moors, native sons and daughters. On the stones of the Olmec we gather again. Look to the sky, the sun. Children of the sun, Moors, native sons and daughters. On the stones of the Olmec we gather again. Look to the sky.
Under my feet, but the stars of my vision. I crack open the gate, ancient with the new mission glyphs, glow blue. Let the time stream spin. I step through the circle and the future pulls me in. They built a cage of light, a holographic. Under my feet, but the stars of my vision. I crack open the gate, ancient with the new mission glyphs, glow blue. Let the time stream spin. I step through the circle and the future pulls me in. They built a cage of light, a holographic. Under my feet, but the stars of my vision. I crack open the gate, ancient with the new mission glyphs, glow blue. Let the time stream spin. I step through the circle and the future pulls me in. They built a cage of light, a holographic.
People of Earth, I am Dr. Jason. I come from the future, and I am not of this world. I have returned to free my people, and yours. People of Earth, I am Dr. Jason. I come from the future, and I am not of this world. I have returned to free my people, and yours.
people of Earth. I am Dr. Jason.
Welcome to the world-famous King Tut Museum. Be sure to respect the ancient relics. The ancient Egyptians were a magical people who built numerous beautiful, magnificent structures, like the world-famous pyramids and temples. No running inside. Scientists till this very day still do not know how the Egyptians built the pyramids.
I wonder, did aliens ever visit ancient Egypt?
Wow, look at that giant Egyptian statue. It looks just like you, Jason.
Thanks, Toby. You're a super cool friend. Imagine what the world would look like if I was the pharaoh.
Jason, you are daydreaming. Wake up.
Sorry, history got away from me.